Well, Jake, another big event, another pay-per-view. How are you feeling going into this one?
Always feeling amazing, man. This is the part I love the most, these fight weeks, and getting to actually go in there under the lights and perform. I think it's going to be a great fight night, great stacked card, so the fans are going to win from this one.
AJ, we've spoken a few times, and it's always been a case of next man up, right? Regardless of the name, next man up. What does it matter? Just get those wins, get those wins.
Get the wins, get the wins, get the wins.
Yeah?
Yeah. Everyone tries to underestimate me, use my name for clout, and boost their career, do it by fighting me. That's the best way he'll prove himself, is by fighting me.
Jake, you can fight basically anybody. You decide who your opponents are going to be. Why was this man the right opponent for right now?
I think this talk has been part of the conversation, and we've always wanted to fight each other. There's been some shit talk back and forth for a couple of years, and my goal is to become world champion, and the WBA and WBC plan on ranking me depending on my performance, and once I'm ranked, then I can go for the title shot. And he's a formidable opponent, former world champion. It's a great test, 10 rounds to get ready for what ultimately will be a world championship fight one day.
You think there's any chance this man can beat you?
Not a shot in hell. There's nothing he does that can offset anything I'm gonna do to him. Not a single thing. Cardio, pace, output, jabs, body work, inside fighting, wherever the fight goes, however the fight goes, he's gonna be outworked in every single round. And that's just the bottom line.
What is he gonna learn about you on fight night that he doesn't know right now?
He's gonna learn that I'm one of the most heavy-handed, fastest people in the sport of boxing, period. Out of every single weight class, pound for pound, I'm one of the strongest, hardest hitting people in the whole entire sport, and he's gonna learn that.
Think there's any chance you can lose to this man?
With all due respect, you don't underestimate anyone, but I know boxing very well. All this stuff that we talk about, I study Daniel, and I look at some of the things that he says, his characteristics, his boxing talent, you know, his upbringing and so on. All of it's irrelevant. Is he ready? Everything I tell you now is irrelevant. He will see.
So I'll ask both of you now as we wrap up, how does this fight end? Jake, we'll start with you.
Knockout, early rounds, easy work. Another spectacular knockout to add to my highlight reel. And it's gonna be a relatively easy night for me.
Easy night, he says. How do you think this fight ends?
Honestly, speaking from the bottom of my heart, aside from belts and aside from it being him, I'm just ready to fight.
AJ Paul position, I mean, if it's not scripted, I'm going with AJ. If it's scripted, you're gonna already know who's gonna win.
But looking statistically and the professionalism of the sport, I don't see the fight going past 2 rounds.
The fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is one of the most anticipated matchups in boxing right now. Jake Paul, the boxer himself, explained how he expects the fight with Anthony Joshua to unfold, saying it will be tough in the early rounds because Joshua will come forward aggressively. He believes Joshua will eventually tire from constantly trying to chase him around the ring, and that is when the momentum will shift in his favor. Paul plans to stay patient, wait for the right moment, and set up a clean shot once Joshua slows down. According to him, the opening for a knockout will appear as soon as Joshua begins to fade, and he predicts the fight will likely end in the 5th or 6th round. Gervonta Davis posted on Twitter regarding AJ versus Jake Paul. He tweeted, Gervonta Davis said in his tweet that the fighter he mentioned was already getting beaten up during training camp. He explained that he planned to make things even tougher for him, but chose not to push it further. Davis said he did not stress about the situation because he believes everything happens for a reason. His words showed that he felt confident about what would have happened if they had continued sparring. The tweet also hinted that he thought the fighter was not prepared at the level people expected. Davis made it sound like he had the upper hand the entire time. Overall, his message added tension to the discussion surrounding Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Chael Sonnen talked about the situation and said he heard some surprising news about the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He mentioned that people were saying the fight might not happen because Jake could be dealing with an injury. Chael explained that the story he heard involved Jake getting hurt during sparring. He said someone even claimed that Lawrence gave Jake a black eye in training. Because of that, he wasn't sure if the fight was still going forward or not. Chael made it clear he didn't know the full truth, only what others were saying. He added that he wouldn't be shocked if the rumors turned out to be real.
Dervine has spilled the tea. Now he's talking about Joshua versus Jake Paul. I just heard somewhere that he's injured, that the fight's not happening. Sterveen says, I don't know. I just heard not so long ago it was canceled. I don't know what's going on. Lawrence.
Chael went on to say that if he were Jake Paul's advisor, he would tell him not to take the fight with Joshua. He explained that even though the business side looks great and the money is strong, it still might not be the smartest move. He said that if he were Jake's brother, he would choose the safer route and want Jake to focus on winning long term. Chael also mentioned that someone sent him the face-to-face video between Jake and Joshua. From what he saw, Joshua's body language looked calm and confident, not intimidated at all. In Chael's view, the matchup looks risky for Jake. He ended by saying he believes the fight could turn into a disaster for Paul.
Gave him a black eye or something from what I heard, and the fight is not happening after those sparring sessions. It might be a lie or it might be true. I don't know. Just what I heard, so I wouldn't be surprised. If I was his advisor, talking about Jake Paul, I wouldn't take that fight, Stavern added. I mean, business-wise, it makes sense. The numbers are great and everything, but yeah, if I was like his brother Logan, I would tell him, don't take the fight. I'd rather see you win. Somebody sent me the face-to-face. You could tell. Anthony's language showed he was not scared or whatever. In my point of view,
Chael Sonnen added that the most interesting part for him is that Jake Paul has no way to back out of the fight. He explained that if people think the fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua might not happen, that decision would be entirely on Jake's side. There is no option for him to step away or delay the match. Jake is the one making the fight happen and taking full responsibility for it. He has no one to call with an excuse, like an injury or other reason, to cancel or postpone the fight. This, according to Cahill, makes the situation particularly intriguing. It shows that everything about the fight now depends solely on Jake and his actions.
that Jake Paul has nobody to pull out from. Like the idea that Paul and Joshua isn't going to happen and that's on Jake's side of it. There's nowhere for Jake to pull out from. Jake's putting the fight on. He would have nobody to call and say, I have a black eye, I can't continue. That's just one of the parts of it that's very interesting.
Chael Sonnen also talked about Jake Paul's training and noted that he looks very sharp in the latest footage. He mentioned watching him move around the bag and how much can be learned just from these clips. According to Cahill, every detail in training footage matters because it gives insights into a fighter's preparation. He referenced the Countdown series by HBO that followed Floyd Mayweather, explaining how they would film him constantly and release footage almost immediately. This approach allowed fans and analysts to see progress in real time. Cahill emphasized that the same principle applies to Jake Paul's footage. It's all about observing movement, speed, and skill development. Even small moments on the mitts or during footwork can reveal a lot about a fighter's readiness.
Jake Paul looks good, guys. I just caught this training footage. Moving around on the bag. How much do you want to get from training footage? I get it, but everything is your answer. Everything. There's a reason that they make these. There's a reason that the embedded, you guys remember Countdown? Was it HBO that was doing that? Oh, it was so good. So good. They would follow Floyd Mayweather, and the very day that they filmed it, they would put it out. They would literally film him like 24/7. They would film him, and hours later, they would drop it. So you're right in the moment. But it's all training footage. The whole thing is training footage. How's this guy look on the mitts? How's he?
He further explained that training is full of measurable indicators, like running speed or physical strength. For example, improvements in a mile run or a 100-yard dash show quantifiable progress. When a fighter says, "I'm getting in better shape," Cahill pointed out that training footage can actually confirm it. Observing how fast and efficiently Jake moves, how strong he looks, and how precise his punches are provides concrete evidence of improvement. Everything in the footage contributes to understanding his condition and readiness for the fight. According to Cahill, these details are crucial because they show not just effort but real, measurable results that can predict performance in the ring.
How fast is his run? Like, there's certain things that are quantifiable. I'm getting in better shape. A guy loves to say that. Well, you can actually prove that. A mile run is an excellent way, an excellent tool. What did you run a mile at 2 months ago? How fast can you run a mile now? 100-yard dash is a very quantifiable. A guy, I'm getting stronger.
Chael Sonnen said that many people predicting this fight either think it won't happen or expect it to be more like an exhibition where the fighters are polite to each other. He explained that even small successes for Jake Paul would be meaningful. If Jake simply shows up and competes, that counts as a win. If he can dodge some of his opponent's combinations, that is also a win. Even landing a single punch on a skilled boxer would be important. Cahill emphasized that it is very hard to hit someone who moves well in the ring. He shared that even after 4 MMA fights, sparring in a boxing gym was extremely challenging.
I know you don't, because so many people that are predicting this fight won't even happen. Or that are predicting if this fight happens, these guys are going to be nice to each other. What does this word exhibition mean? Right? There's all these things where you're trying to take away, and you're not necessarily wrong. If Jake shows up for this fight, that's a win. If Jake goes out there and competes and can slip out of the way of some of these combinations, that's a win. If Jake can get a hand on this guy, and I mean one hand, it's a win. Now you got to just trust me on this one. It is so hard to hit a skilled boxer. It is so incredibly hard.
Cahill added that while he cannot compare Jake directly to Anthony Joshua until the fight happens, he can compare Jake's current training footage with his past performances. From that comparison, he said Jake has never looked this good. Every aspect of his training shows improvement. His movement, speed, and overall skill appear much sharper than before. Cahill highlighted that these details in training footage are important because they show measurable progress. Watching Jake in action now gives a clear idea of how ready he is for the fight. According to Cahill, seeing this level of preparation makes the upcoming fight more exciting.
MMA fights. The first time that I went into a boxing gym and sparred. And I'm telling you, just to get your hand to touch that guy that knows how to move in these kinds of ways is such a difficult thing to do. When I look at Jake, I don't have the ability until the fight to compare him and Joshua. That is the comparison. But I do have the ability to compare footage of Jake today versus footage of Jake from other days.
Wade Pellman explained why he believes Jake Paul is facing the toughest challenge of his career and why the decision to take this fight is becoming increasingly reckless. He stated that Jake is in serious trouble and that if he gets hit cleanly by Anthony Joshua, even with just one punch to the chin, the outcome could be very bad. Wade emphasized that the danger of this fight is greater than he initially imagined. He said that as the fight approaches, the reality of facing a world-class boxer like Joshua is becoming clearer. According to him, this situation points toward potential defeat and disaster for Jake. Wade stressed that the combination of Joshua's power and skill makes this fight extremely risky. He wants viewers to understand that Jake is stepping into a very high-stakes scenario with little room for error.
But why I think this decision is looking more and more reckless as we get closer. Jake is in big trouble, no doubt about it. If he gets touched on the chin with anything from Anthony Joshua, hands or otherwise, this is going to go very badly. But let's get into why I think this is more dangerous now than I've even imagined. Reality is setting in, and it only spells defeat and disaster for Jake Paul.
Wade Pellman talked about Jake Paul getting his eye blacked by Lawrence Aioli, who is a legitimate heavyweight and can weigh around 270 pounds when not in training. Wade explained that seeing Jake get hit in sparring might look worrying at first, but it is not necessarily a bad sign. He noted that Jake has been doing well in other sparring sessions and has been holding his own against heavyweights, which could be encouraging for fans. Wade added that if Jake is getting hit in his right eye, it could be from repeated jabs, which is common in orthodox fighting style. He also mentioned that sparring sessions are meant to help fighters adjust to punches from larger opponents. Observing how Jake handles these hits can give insights into his preparation for the fight.
Getting his eye blacked by Lawrence Aioli. who is a legit like 6'5", 6'6". He might actually be 270 right now because Okolie tends to get, let's just be honest, tends to get fat when he doesn't have a fight coming up or when he's out of camp a little bit. So that isn't surprising. Now, initially, you're going to look at this and people are going to say, oh my God, Jake's getting up in sparring. And that could be the case. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have any insights as to what's been going on recently. I have heard from people that I know that Jake has been doing well in sparring, that Jake is holding his own against some of these heavyweights. And that could be an encouraging sign for Jake Paul fans if you're out there, the tens or hundreds of you. That's a joke. Relax.
Wade further explained that the real question is whether Jake is just getting jabbed or if he was hit by a hard left hook that he did not see, which could be more concerning. He said the situation is similar to what Jake will face against Anthony Joshua, who has a strong lead hook and reach advantage, much like Lawrence Aioli in the gym. Wade emphasized that Jake brought in sparring partners like Aioli to prepare for this type of challenge. He added that observing Jake in these situations shows how he reacts to punches from taller, stronger opponents. This preparation helps him adjust to the strategies and power he will encounter in the real fight. Wade highlighted that understanding these sparring dynamics is key to predicting how Jake might perform against Joshua.
But it also could mean that guys like Lawrence Okolie, and especially if it's your right eye, if Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye, and it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty lead hook, and he's going to have a reach advantage on Jake, just like Lawrence Okolie does in the gym, which is why Jake has brought him in. So that jab's going to be effective. That lead hand of AJ is going to be effective. How does Jake maneuver around that?
Deontay Wilder gave his prediction for the upcoming fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. He stated that if the fight is not scripted, he believes Anthony Joshua will win. Wilder added that if the outcome were predetermined, people would already know who the winner is. He emphasized that his prediction is based on the fighter's skills and performance rather than any external factors. Wilder's comments suggest confidence in Joshua's ability to handle Jake Paul. He also highlighted the importance of watching the fight unfold naturally. According to Wilder, Joshua's experience and power give him the edge in the matchup. Fans are left with a clear expectation that Joshua is the favorite going into the fight.
AJ Paul position, I mean, if it's not scripted, I'm going with AJ. If it's scripted, you're going to already know who's going to win.
Angel Fernandez shared his thoughts on whether fighters like Jake Paul are good for boxing. He said that, in his opinion, they can be positive because they bring more exposure to the sport and may motivate other fighters to seek bigger opportunities. However, he also noted that in terms of understanding the real dangers of boxing, he is not convinced it is beneficial. Angel pointed out that he has not seen Jake Paul in a professional fight yet, so it is hard to judge his readiness. He stressed that facing someone like Anthony Joshua is extremely risky. According to Angel, the fight has the potential to be very dangerous if it reaches full intensity. He hopes that things don't get too serious, but he recognizes the high stakes involved. Overall, he believes the matchup brings attention but also comes with significant risks.
Jake Pauls of the world are good for boxing.
For my personal opinion, I think it's good in terms of for other fighters to maybe fight for better purposes. It brings that exposure to boxing. Personally, in terms of understanding the dangers of the sport, I don't think so, because I haven't seen him in an actual fight yet. And having Anthony Joshua in front of you, I really hope it doesn't go to that end.
He said that while he thinks the fight will go ahead, he is unsure what Jake Paul is thinking. Facing someone like Joshua is a massive challenge because he is a two-time heavyweight champion. Joshua also possesses one-punch knockout power, understands range and positioning, and knows how to set up his opponent. Fernandez emphasized that Joshua is both bigger and stronger than Jake. He highlighted that these factors make the fight extremely risky for Paul. Despite these concerns, he tried to remain cautiously optimistic. He expressed hope that the fight could proceed safely.
I think it goes ahead, but I mean, I don't know what Jake Paul is thinking, to be honest, because you're talking about someone that is 2 times heavyweight champion of the world. is someone that actually have got a one-punch knockout power. He understands range, he understands positioning, he understands how to set you up. He's a bigger man.
Fernandez further explained that, from a statistical and professional standpoint, the fight may not last long. Based on Joshua's skill and experience, he doesn't expect it to go beyond 2 rounds. However, he emphasized that he wants both fighters to go home safe and earn plenty of money from the bout. While thinking about the realities of the sport, he admitted that the odds are heavily against Jake Paul. He stressed that Anthony Joshua's power and technique make this a very dangerous matchup. Still, he expressed a desire for a positive outcome. Overall, he sees the fight as exciting but extremely high risk for Jake Paul.
He's a stronger man. I don't know where, for me, yes, I'm thinking the worst, but I want to be positive, and I really hope that both of them goes home safe with plenty of money. But looking statistically and the professionalism of the sport, I don't see the fight going.
The upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is shaping up to be one of the most talked about matchups in recent boxing history. Experts and former champions alike have shared their thoughts on the risks, preparation, and skill gaps, highlighting just how high stakes this fight really is. From intense training footage to sparring insights and professional predictions, it's clear that both fighters are stepping into the ring fully aware of the challenges ahead. What do you think? Can Jake Paul pull off the upset, or will Anthony Joshua prove why he's a 2-time heavyweight champion? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest updates and expert analysis on this blockbuster fight.